Okay, let's take a look at homework 5, question 6. It asks us to find the slope and the equation of the tangent line to the graph of the function f at the specified point. And they're giving us this function here. F of x is negative 10/3 x squared plus 5x plus 5. And the point that they're giving us is negative 1 in the x-coordinate, that's the x-coordinate here, and actually it's negative 10/3. Good thing I looked at that. Negative 10/3 in the y-coordinate. Okay, so if we want to find the slope of the tangent line at a point, we have to find the derivative. Remember, those are pretty much the same thing. You take the derivative at a point, and it's going to tell you what the slope of the tangent line is. So let's go ahead and use our differentiation rules to find f prime of x. So f prime of x equals, let's see, we've got x squared here, so we're going to take the 2 and multiply it by the coefficient here. So that's going to be negative 20/3 x 2 minus 1. We have to subtract the 1, so that's just going to be to the first power. We leave it like it is. 5x, well, technically we bring down the exponent with the power rule and then subtract, and ultimately 5x is going to give us a 5. And then the plus 5, that's our constant, so that just gives us a 0. We don't even have to write that in. So we've got f of x. That's going to give us the slope for any x we happen to plug in. It'll give us the slope of the tangent line. But they're interested in the slope at this particular point up here, the negative 1 and negative 10/3. So we need to plug in that x. So what we need for our slope is going to be f prime of negative 1. So that's negative 20/3 times negative 1 plus 5. Okay? So let's figure this out. That's going to give us 20/3 plus 5 is the same as 15/3. I'm just rewriting that so that we have a common denominator. I just took 5 and multiplied it times 3 to get what I needed. And then we add those together and we get 35/3. And that just so happens to be the slope of the tangent line at the point negative 1. So in the box for your question where it says slope, you're just going to enter 35/3 in my case, or you may have different numbers, but once you've plugged in the point to the derivative, whatever you come up with, you're going to enter that for your slope. And now it's just a matter of using what we learned in the first homework section about the point slope formula, which is m times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. Well, m is our slope. That's what we had here, so we'll just do that, 35/3. And that's going to be times x minus x1. Well, that was this negative 1 up here. Oops, this negative 1 up here. So we will subtract that. And that equals y minus y1. Well, that was negative 10/3. So let's plug that in there. And let's do some distributing. 35/3 times x. That's going to give us 35/3 x. 35/3 times, well, this is going to be a positive 1. So 35/3 times a positive 1 is going to be plus 35/3 equals y plus, I just have a minus and a minus, so that's a plus 10/3. We can bring the 10/3 over, so that's going to give us 35/3 x. Subtract 10 from 35, that's going to be 25/3, and that's what y is equal to. So where you have to enter the equation for the tangent line, they already gave you the y equals, so all you have to do is enter that. So just to go over the steps one more time, you're going to start with the function they gave you. You're going to find the derivative. Once you have found the derivative, you will plug in the x value that they gave you. Once you have done that, you'll solve your function, the derivative of your function for that x value, and that answer is going to give you the slope. Once you have the slope, remember that's m, you can use the point slope formula to figure out what the equation of your line is. And if you have any questions, if I skipped over something that you could use some help with, shoot me an email and I will get right back to you with as much help as I can offer.